Let's hear from Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike Trudell in the media.
Frank, what's the main takeaway from a game like that? With the slow start, roaring back from a 20-point deficit, all the guys off the bench, and then building the lead, and then just not executing down the stretch finally.
Yeah, proud of the guys that got us back in the game. Those guys gave us a good lift, but yeah, we didn't play well enough to win a basketball game tonight. Credit to Orlando Magic. They played extremely well. Whether they have guys in or out of the lineup, the guys that played extremely well. Fultz was terrific with a triple-double. Vooch and AG were really good, and all their role players that got extended minutes, made the best of them, very similarly to what we did in OKC. And you just got to credit your opponent.
Frank, how can you reflect on going 22-0 against teams sub 500 before tonight, and on the night when it is broken, you fall down 20, but still make it a one-possession game?
Yeah, we got a good team. Even when we're not at our best, we have the ability to rally and almost get past our deficiencies early in the game. And but just won enough tonight. And this is a team that's they've got a playoff culture. They were a playoff team last year, the third best team in the East, second half of the year. They're very well coached, and they're tied together on a defensive end, and they made things difficult for us tonight. Even the guys that don't play the regular minutes, those guys just made the best of their opportunities.
Coach, y'all had a lot of momentum going into the fourth, and even going at the end of the fourth. Where do you feel like the momentum shifted at?
Well, they made shots. We missed 2 dunks. I mean, it's stuff happens sometimes. I mean, those are no answer types of plays. I mean, but they made us pay on the other end. They shot 11 for 18 in the fourth quarter. Whether we defended well or had breakdowns, they made shots. So, sometimes you got to just credit your opponent.
What have you seen from Quinn Cook this season and his ability to have such streaky play?
Yeah, I'm happy for him that right now he's getting an extended opportunity to play, and he's showing what he can do. He's a good player. He played in the playoffs for us. We have great depth on this team. He'd be playing in rotation on most teams. We've got a veteran team that is very deep, especially at that position. So credit to him for staying ready and making the best of his opportunity. He was terrific tonight.
LeBron had a little bit of a slow start offensively, at least, and then ultimately finished with his career high in assists. Can you just what did you feel like? What did you take from his game tonight and the way that it kind of ebbed and flowed for him?
The way it ended? Ebbed and flowed. I thought he was terrific. The first half he was clearly trying to get his teammates involved, and was really facilitating, getting guys open looks all over the place. Some went down, some didn't. But he played the same way. With when Quinn and KCP and Troy were in there, those guys were making shots. That's why we finished with those guys. And I think LeBron played an exceptional. You don't play a game with 19 assists without playing an exceptional game. So,
Frank, what is the last week or so? Not that a couple of games results change a lot of your thinking, but what does this tell you about some of your role players and just kind of the confidence you can have in them going forward to get you in position to close out games?
Yeah, it's just there's going to be some nights where your main guys aren't getting it done, or you just want to change the game. It's not. I don't want to pin this on guys that not playing well. Sometimes the group's not playing well, and you just got to try something different. And that was the case tonight. And I have a lot of confidence in those guys. And this, quite frankly, doesn't really change that. I'm not surprised that Quinn Cook and Troy Daniels come in and do what they did. And KCP, of course, as well. So it doesn't really change anything for me, other than just reaffirms the confidence that I have in those guys.
Check this out. It ties best record the Lakers ever had through 41 games at 33-8. Only the 71-72 team had a better mark at 38-3. So this is the second best starts through 41 games. That's an unbelievable stat right there. And you look at all those other teams, Big Game James, you were on one of them, 33-8, won a championship. 99-2000, won a title. And 2008-2009, won a title. Impressive. Let's go inside the Lakers locker room. LeBron is speaking with Mike Bresnahan. Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Allie Clifton. Brez is out at Staples Center getting some post-game reaction. 9-game win streak comes to an end at the hands of the Orlando Magic. A slow start for the Lakers. Actually a valiant effort to get back in it. They were down 22 with 6:30 left in the third and actually had a 4-point lead midway through that fourth quarter. But down the stretch, could not get a stop. Before we get into that, let's look at that last possession. Good ball movement. Quinn Cook back to LeBron. Had the look to tie, in and out.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good look. I mean, Cook was hot. Daniels was hot. Right here, I thought Cook might have had a good look at it, but he got closed out. Nice pump fake. That's LeBron's shot. Got a good look at it, kind of in and out, but did not go down. So it wasn't like they didn't get a good look, and they had a great effort with the comeback.
You had two of your hottest guys, a guy who knows how to make plays and a guy who has been hitting from deep in Quinn Cook, making the opportunities and having the chance to, of course, seal the deal for the Lakers, but, of course, coming up short.
But, you know, Allie and James, really, when you look at this game, you go down the stretch in Orlando, 4 straight buckets to close out that game. The Aaron Gordon dunk and one, the Vucevic 3, and then back-to-back buckets by Markelle Fultz. That right there, real tough to overcome for the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know. So a couple weeks ago, I think a Fish might have been here, and we were talking about, will the Lakers ever lose to a sub-500 team? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in this league. And unfortunately, you don't want to happen at home with AD out. But, you know, they're still professionals, and you can't play to their record. I think the Lakers probably thought subconsciously that they could get this one at home. But these guys, Orlando, young, talented, can't play to their record, and they came to play tonight. They're in Los Angeles. They're young, playing against the Lakers, and they got the Clippers tomorrow night. So they played very good, and the Lakers just didn't match them in the first half.
And, Allie, we hear it every night from guys who played for the Lakers. Listen, it's other teams' Super Bowls all the time. A team like Orlando, by the way, they're barely under 500. They're now 20-21, so this is a pretty decent basketball team that was hungry tonight. They're just coming off a win in Sacramento where they won the game at the buzzer, and they played well. You got to give them credit.
They've won 5 of their last 7, and as you mentioned, you're playing the Lakers, so they're excited. They're ready to come out, and they've got young guys out there that you mentioned, length, athleticism, guys who are getting minutes and opportunities that haven't because they're also undermanned. You got to remember that first time the Lakers saw the Orlando Magic, Nick Vucevic wasn't out there. He was an all-star last season. He hits that big 3. So it was one of those nights. It just reminds you that anyone can be beat on any given night. And I think the slow start, especially defensively for the Lakers, it trickled down throughout the rest of the game, especially there late. As you mentioned, those stops they just couldn't get.
Yeah, and outside of a Laker loss, which you hate to see, I mean, what a story, Markelle Fultz. I mean, you just didn't know if he would ever really get right and play in the NBA. He comes up with a triple-double tonight, 21, 11, and 10, and buckets down the stretch, this Orlando Magic team. As we look at those, big game, James, it started with this. There's Fultz, and that's a nice move, getting under past JaVale and off the glass.
I'm really happy to see him come full circle. I mean, he had a really tough time in Philly. This kid can play, and he proved it tonight. Under control, very disciplined, and hit some big shots down the stretch.
And not the best, and he got cramps right there, but not the best defensive night, Allie. I think Billy and Stu were talking about at the end, 60 points in the paint. That's very rare for this Laker team.
Oh, no doubt about it. And it's something that they pride themselves on, getting downhill. And, of course, the Orlando Magic, Steve Clifford, who has game planned against LeBron James for so long, being in the East all those years, he had their rim protected very well. I think it threw off the Lakers' offensive rhythm, which, of course, you never want it to dictate the defensive end of the floor. But I think at times throughout the night it, of course, did. You
know what I love tonight? On a night where there's no AD, no Rondo, and Caruso got hurt early, guys like Troy Daniels got to play a lot, absolutely lit it up. Quinn Cook goes for 22. I mean, this is the second most bench points the Lakers have had all year long with 68. So you got to give those guys a shout out for keeping the Lakers in the game and getting them back in it.
There's such a joy to watch. There's so much fun. This morning, Frank Vogel talked about you have to have guys who are willing and able to grow without having touched the floor. And you're at the midway point of the season, game 41. And when you look at it, Troy Daniels, Quinn Cook, Jared Dudley, they haven't seen a lot of action. Yet here they are tonight, putting you in a position to win, but over the last few games, winning games for you.
Think about it like this, Allie and James. That's number 12, 13, and 14 basically in the rotation, coming through big for you. Any night you need them. It's rare.
It gives you an inside look into, what the practices are like, how the locker room is, how the chemistry is. They got each other's backs. And these guys are ready to play when called upon. And, I could just see that second team competing fiercely against that, starters in practice. And, these guys, numbers was called, Daniels, Cook, they were ready to go. I think the Lakers missed Caruso down the stretch.
No
They
doubt.
could have used him. But nevertheless, man, it was a great comeback. And you're right, to see those guys come in there and be ready to go was amazing.
We talk long-term marathon approach when it comes to the injuries with this team, but these are nights when you can think long-term marathon expectations into the season. How much can guys like this really make an impact when it matters the most? Tonight in January, maybe the result's not exactly...
Yeah, Laker fans, I know
Like-
you're upset, but you had a 7-game win streak, a 7-game win streak, a 10-game win streak, and then a
Gonna happen.
9-game win streak. These are nice
Not bad.
streaks, not bad. So let's get you
You're
to
going to have about 3 or 4 games like this a year,
100%.
pretty much. Going
Yep.
to get you.
They're now, 22-1 when it comes to sub-500 teams? All right, let's get you to the highlights. Lakers, LeBron James, they won it, but they lose 119-118. Markelle Fultz with the triple-double, 21, 11, and 10. Aaron Gordon, 21 and 6. Vucevic with 19 and 4. Quinn Cook led all scorers for the Lakers with 22. 4 of 7 from 3.